What's up everybody, and welcome to Glass is in Session. We'll be doing a bit of a different video today. We're going to be making 3 of my favorite cold brew mocktails. They're all easy, unique, and delicious in their own way. Let me know in the comments how much you like this style of video versus my other ones. And with that, let's get started by making our cold brew. I've let my coffee grounds sit in the fridge overnight in filtered water. My ratio was 1.5 cups of grounds to 3 cups of filtered water. Using a cheesecloth, strainer, and another bowl, we're going to strain all of our grounds out of our fresh cold brew. I'm filling my strainer up, making sure to not pass the border made by the cheesecloth, waiting for the water line to go down slightly, and then adding more of my cold brew. Depending on how thoroughly your filter process is, this could take a little while. Once that process is done, we'll throw everything into a deli and proceed with our first recipe, the Espresso Tonic. For this, you'll need our fresh cold brew, pomegranate molasses, tonic water, and a fresh orange. Gather your ingredients and shaker tin and start with 1/2 ounce of pomegranate molasses. This stuff is super thick, so I like to start the recipe with this ingredient and then use the other ingredients to rinse out the remaining molasses. It's tangy and sweet, but not too sweet, and I think it goes really good with a taste of coffee. And 2 ounces of cold brew coffee. Since our pomegranate molasses is so thick, I decided I wanted to shake these ingredients up a little bit just to get the mixture down. So I'm adding a little bit of ice to the shaker tin and whip shaking these ingredients together. We're not looking for any dilution here, so a small amount of ice will do. Retrieve your frosted highball glass, and into that add fresh ice. Strain your cold brew molasses mixture in and slowly add tonic water, taking care for the carbonation to not bubble over. Take a rip of a fresh orange, express some of the oils over the top, and garnish your drink. The orange oils might kill off some of the head, so we're going to add a touch more of the tonic water. Add a straw, and that, my friends, is our Espresso Tonic. This one surprised me on how much I actually enjoyed it. I'm usually not a huge fan of tonic, and I know tonic is a little bit of a divisive ingredient, but I saw that espresso tonics and matcha tonics are all the rage right now, so I had to try my hand in something. I didn't want to add just a normal syrup. I thought that would be a little too sweet. I wanted a little bit more of like some citrusy notes, but I didn't want to add any kind of citrus, so I thought this pomegranate molasses would be perfect, and I think I hit it spot on. Next, we're going to make a cinnamon smoked cold fashioned. For this drink, you'll need some fresh cold brew, Demerara syrup, a cinnamon stick, non-alcoholic orange bitters, and an orange. Start off by taking a plate, a frosted lowball glass, and our cinnamon stick, and light one end of the cinnamon stick on fire. We're going to let this burn for a small amount of time and then eventually snuff everything out under our lowball glass to season it with the cinnamon smoke. Let that marinate on the glass for a minute and set aside. Now to a mixing glass, add 2 dashes of orange bitters, 2 teaspoons or bar spoons of Demerara syrup, and 2 ounces of cold brew coffee. Add ice and stir for 5 to 10 seconds or until our mixing glass gets nice and frosty around the outside. Retrieve your cinnamon smoked lowball and add 1 clarified ice cube. Strain your delicious concoction into the glass and retrieve your Y peeler. Next, take a fresh orange, take a rip, and garnish the cube with the expressed oils, twist, and garnish. And that, my friends, is the cinnamon smoked cold fashioned. I mostly wanted to do this one specifically for the name cold fashioned versus old fashioned, but I didn't want to just add 2 ounces of cold brew to some syrup on ice and call it an old fashioned. I wanted to dress it up a little bit, so I went with a little bit like the cinnamon smoke, which you actually do get in the drink. It's got like a nice, smokiness to it. It's like a caramelized cinnamon aroma. It's very nice. And finally, I saved the best for last, an Italian espresso martini. For this recipe, you'll need your cold brew, the Pathfinder, Milk Whey, which is optional but recommended, and vanilla syrup. Once you have everything you need, start off by adding 1/2 ounce of vanilla syrup to a shaker tin. Next, add 1 ounce of Milk Whey to help achieve that froth that everyone loves on an espresso martini. 1 ounce of the Pathfinder. This will be our main flavoring component aside from the cold brew. And finally, 1.5 ounces of fresh cold brew. Add ice and shake for 8 to 10 seconds. Now I want to make sure I have a good amount of head at the top of this drink, so I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to strain our drink back into the shaker, toss the ice, and reshake for another 8 to 10 seconds. This will ensure that I have adequately aerated the drink and thus giving it that notably frothy top. Retrieve your frozen Nick and Nora glass, although a coupe glass will work just fine, and single strain to catch any of the remaining ice shards that may be in your drink. Most people garnish with espresso beans, but I like the look of a very simplistic and elegant espresso martini. I feel like it kind of speaks for itself. And that, my friends, is an Italian espresso martini. I've been having a lot of fun experimenting with Pathfinder. It's my favorite NA spirit right now. It's got a lot of herbal, botanical notes that is very akin to like an Amaro, an Italian Amaro, thus the Italian part of the Italian espresso martini. It's bittersweet. All of that plays really, really well with the coffee. It did need a little bit of a bump for sweetness, thus the vanilla came in. And those are my 3 favorite coffee mocktails that I go to most of the time. They're nice and easy to make, and they always hit. So which one was your favorite? Did you make any of these at home? Let me know down in the comments what you all think of the recipes. And thanks for watching. See you next time.